Welcome back to Queued Up, where the lobby's open, the mics are hot, and nobody's dodging. We've got an awesome show of esports lined up for you guys today. My name's Eli the Ninja Hensley. Joining with me today is Nick ThugNasty Lavid. We've got Justin MetaPusher Wilkes and Davis Tadpole Tadlock. Love the intro from the boys. We got a fun show today. We're going to do some clutch or kick per usual. We're going to do some around the league. And then my favorite new addition to the show is going to be VOD review. We're actually going to watch some of the footage from the different games that happened and then kind of break down what makes these guys so good. So maybe we can rank up in our lobbies as well. So let's go ahead and just jump right into clutch or kick, where we take a look at some of the social media posts and just talk about it. Nick, we'll start with you. What do you got?
Yeah, I've got Omit joining the scene of Halo. Big COD Challengers team, a crazy stat, about 33% of the current pro rosters have came from Omit in some way, shape, or form. But Omit Halo is going to be Collect, Huss, Ezo, Mortally, coached by Hoaxer. Great guy, Rafi, bringing a team into the scene, showing his love, expanding his reach a little bit. Love everything about it. Clutch.
Yeah, I mean, I got to agree with you. This is a clutch for me as well. I actually spoke with some people about this organization, Omit, and the name means more than you would think. So Omit is like, would you leave something out? So the idea behind this org is to highlight individuals that feel left out and let those players shine that didn't otherwise get chances to do so. I think he picked the perfect roster for this. I mean, look at every player on this roster. Collect is on seemingly a new roster every single tournament. He's one of the best players to not, I guess, get top 4 yet. The guy's absolutely insane. Everyone on this roster are, in my eyes, the perfect group for Omit to pick up. So shout out to Omit for coming back, by the way. So if you didn't know this, at the very first Halo Infinite LAN, Omit was a roster with Huss as well. So I think he was the connection to bring him back, and I love to see it.
Yeah, for me, it's going to be a clutch as well. Santa, Raffi, and the island of the misfit players. I'm loving seeing these people, and I think it's going to be a good run. I don't know how realistic anything deep in terms of like performance is going to be, but it's going to be a fun team to root for and a great story to follow.
It's going to be a clutch from me as well. So
super clutch.
Let's go.
For me, I didn't know the backstory that you kind of gave on Omit, so I think that's really cool as well, just giving these players a chance to play. And I think for Halo, you know, any new team that can come hopefully battle into that top 4, I think it's really good. So excited to see.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think top 4 might be a little bit outside of their capability.
I wasn't going to say it.
Battle for it.
I hope they do.
It's a Christmas miracle.
Yeah, it would be a Christmas miracle, and it wouldn't be out of the picture for Omit to do similar things. So, I mean, in Call of Duty, they're always popping off. But I want to jump into my clutch or kick. It's going to be about Evo Japan. So, Evo Japan's been going on, biggest fighting game tournament in the world. And this is a long tweet, but I'll summarize it for you. This is from Nee, who's a Tekken legend. This guy is nearly 40 years old. Next month, he turns 40. Best a field of over or nearly 1,000 players, which, I mean, there's not many players as old as he is still winning. This guy, I looked at his wiki, he won World Cyber Games in 2010, so 15 years ago. He was winning Tier 1 tournaments. He's won Evo now 4 times, so shout outs to Nee. Some of the other players I wanted to highlight, we've also got Daru, who's 39, won Guilty Gear. E.T. won King of Fighters, he's 40. And then we have Momochi, who's 39 and finished 4th in Street Fighter 6. So the old heads are popping off, and I think it just goes to show it doesn't matter how old you are, you can still pop off in video games. It's a clear clutch for me.
I am also going clutch. I love seeing these old players do well. I think a couple episodes back, we talked about the extremely old Japanese Valorant team. I think that is when things start getting a little crazy. But in general, the whole mythos of our reaction time going down as we age, I think is way overblown. I think into your late 40s, you're probably still fast enough to compete at a highest level. If we look at other sports like golf, things like arm wrestling, people actually get to a higher peak at their older age. You wouldn't expect it, but people in their 40s can sometimes reach even higher strength. So I think that is a complete myth, and I think this is something we're going to continue to see as esports goes on. And I don't just say that because I'm kind of old too. So heck yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna No, I'm not.
Oh.
I'm going to kick this. Where are the young bucks? Why are we not performing? We got this 39-year-old about to be 40-year-old just whooping everybody's tail. I think it's really cool, but come on, we need some youngsters to step up.
The Zoomers get mad when the Boomers start winning.
They really do. But as a guy who's about to turn 40 in the next couple of years, this is a huge clutch for me. Love to see it. Keep playing until the wheels fall off.
Love that. Yeah, I agree with Justin. Like, if you just don't stop playing, why would your skills go anywhere? They're still there. Just got to keep up with it. But let's go over to Davis for his clutcher kick. What you got for us?
Yeah, so for me, I have Nintendo. They were recently accused after their announcement of the Switch 2. They were accused of using maybe AI generation in their announcement about Mario Kart game. They came out and defended that, saying that Nintendo would rather go in a different direction and said that they do not want to use AI-generated images in their game, and that they want to use that human aspect to be able to create all their things. So for me, I think this is a big clutch. I think AI is really cool, and I think it's cool how it can be implemented into our lives. But I think Nintendo has been a special company for a long time now, and I think that identity of creating something unique is really special to them, and so I think they need to continue to do it this way.
Kick. Get it out of here. You are Nintendo, one of, if not the largest video game producers company in the world. Why are you responding to allegations like this? You did it or you didn't. The only person that should matter is yourself. I'm kick reply. It's not necessarily the fact that they're using or not using the clutch or kick aspect to me. It's the fact that they had to respond, which is just, you're Nintendo. You don't respond to allegations like this. Just stand on business.
Okay. I'm a kick as well, but for a different reason.
Okay.
I saw the images. They're AI generated, for sure. Like, there's no way they're not. There's no way that an artist created some of the things that I saw. Look it up yourself. It was ridiculous. I think that maybe it's a good thing that this was like called to attention, because maybe now they will actually utilize human resources when it comes to creating these images in the future. But for right now, it's obvious, man. Somebody used AI, maybe just a lazy worker at Nintendo that doesn't reflect Nintendo as a whole, but it's got to change.
I am also going to kick this one, but for a third and completely different reason. I don't think it's a big deal that they were using AI. I think that this is what companies are going to start doing in the future. It's just not going to be this weird thing where we're like, oh, we need humans to work on this. Like, we don't need humans to work on the calculating of spreadsheets for an accountant. Like, tools, AI is a tool that will allow humans to do other things and allow artists to work on maybe higher end stuff or do it at a higher pace. So I think this is just something that is going to be coming in the future. So let's not act like it's some big deal in the present. Get with the times.
Okay.
Sorry, Davis.
So
All good.
different.
Super kick. No,
Almost.
I clutch.
Wow. Okay. And I guess just like to add that I kind of agree with your sentiment, but when it comes to like graphic design, that's where I don't like AI personally. I think that it's silly to completely reject all use cases of AI because it's extremely valuable for many people. But when it comes to graphics specifically, it's like you can hire artists that are going to do a much better job. And Nintendo is known for creating these beautiful, expansive worlds. And it's like, if a computer did that, I don't think it'd be quite the same. But do you want to refute that or just move on to your clutch?
We can just move on. I think it's a valid point, and you could get into arguing semantics, but I'm not even that really sold on that point. So I don't need to fight for it.
Fair enough.
Stay tuned for State of AI in video games.
That's a good one.
Soon.
That's a good episode idea. So stay tuned. That might be coming soon to you. But Justin, you're the last one to give us a clutch or kick. What you got for us?
Yeah, so my clutch or kick is coming from the LTA North. We had this viral tweet from Julian Mid here. It's like a 60-second clip of a short interview that they did with Shaden after his victory. And it's really poking fun at kind of like his kind of lifeless and monotone way of responding. He's sort of giving one-word answers and really not giving Azael much energy back. So I am actually going to not clutch this. I'm going to give this a kick, and not in terms of kicking Shaden out for his bad interview performance. I'm kicking this for all the fans who are making fun of Shaden for being who he is. This is just a guy who is not the most animated person. He's not the most expressive, but guess what? He's not an actor. He's a League of Legends jungler. He's really good at what he does. And I think you should just be yourself. I don't want to see a bunch of media-trained pros who are all giving the same answers. Like, yeah, no, I'm just believing my team. Every match is super important. I like seeing character, especially when we're talking about League of Legends. Think about Dyrus. a legendary figure in LCS history who was monotone, but still gave us some of the most emotional moments in the game's history.
100%. I'm right there with you. I think the media training, it doesn't need to be there. I think the raw just personality of these esports athletes needs to shine through. I mean, if you're looking at the athlete for why he's not bringing entertainment to the stream, it's like he just brought entertainment by play the whole time. All right, analysts, your time to bring, the energy and everything to the scene. So I think it was great that he came on and, just was himself and acted like himself in the interview. I think it should continue.
This might be extremely bold of me, but I'm going to kick this, and I'm going to kick this for one reason alone. I don't want to say that was his personality. I'm going to say it's something that we could also have another 30-minute discussion on. I'm going to say drugs. I'm going to say that he might have been a little too focused on the task at hand. And yeah. So we're going to try and get rid of that sort of stuff in video games, and we're just going to move on.
That's pretty bold of you to say. I will.
Did you watch it?
I did watch it, and that was actually one of my first thoughts, but I don't think that's actually the problem here. I think I'm kicking this because I think it's a player mentality issue. This player, I think, and this is something that I noticed when I was a competitor myself of the people around me. Nobody wants to give props to the opposition. So when they're asked things like, one of the questions that was asked in this interview was, you're going up against Inspired. He's the best jungler in the league. What did you do any special preparation for this? And his answer was like, nothing different from any other jungler. And it's like, I don't know. His vibe gave me the impression that he just doesn't want to give props to the competition. He wants to just be aloof and look cool so that to fit in with the group. But it's like, I don't know, the best players that I've ever seen in any game or sport are humble. They give their opponent props because that's how you overcome the opposition. You have to recognize what they're good at so that you can find a way to defeat it. And his attitude might be part of the reason why they're not doing very good this season. I'll be completely honest. That's how I see it.
Heck yeah, super kick.
Super kick.
Super kick. Get it out of here.
The first one ever.
Is that the first super kick?
I think that is.
It is.
Yeah.
Well, I think, it has to be, right?
Yeah.
All right.
The ghost of Clarence is mad at us.
CJ's not going to be happy. Pathfinder has a different philosophy about that, but let's not get too into that. We're going to get into our next segment, Around the League. So we've got a lot of different action to cover. We're going to start with Valorant. Right now, there's no action happening in the VCT Americas. Obviously, they've already qualified for Toronto, but an EMEA action is heating up. We're deep into the bracket at this point. We've got Heretics and Fnatic have both clinched their spot into Toronto, so props to them. On the bottom side of the bracket, Team Liquid and BBL will be playing for the last spot. So my question for the group, and I'll start with Nick, is who do you have winning that lower matchup for the last spot? And then also, who do you have winning the whole bracket?
I think Team Liquid's going to beat BBL. 6-1 lifetime against them. They played in this tournament in the group stage early on. It was a 2-1, but it actually wasn't as close as that appeared to be. So I've got Team Liquid taking this lower bracket match and sending BBL home. Unfortunately, not to Toronto Masters. And for the whole thing, I'm going to have to give it to Heretics. They're looking good with former Fortnite pro Benji Fish, and they're on a good run right now.
Okay, we'll go counterclockwise on this. So Davis, who do you got?
Yeah, so I have Liquid to win the matchup as well, kind of what Nick said. I just think, historically, Liquid's kind of bested them, and most recently when they played as well, they actually bested them in that competition as well. I do think BBL is playing tremendously well. I actually think they played Heretics really close this past weekend, so if you didn't check that match, you should go check it out. It was really good. But I just think, when it comes down to it and it's in the moment, I think that Liquid's going to come out on top. And I also have Heretics moving on. I think they have a great team. Mini Boo and Boo, the duo of them, also Benji Fish. I just think they have a tremendous team. Undefeated, I think they'll continue that.
Okay, and JDog, who you got?
I actually have BBL coming out on top in the lower bracket. I think that while the historical record does, kind of lean in Liquid's favor, I think BBL's got something good they're working with. I think Jampy is calling really good plays. I think Magnum is sometimes extremely clutch, sometimes very random, but Sociable looks really good. I think this team is really, really solid, and there's sometimes not a lot of analysis and sometimes just a lot of feeling that you have to go with, and so that's why I've got them. I just, something about them has me going. And I will agree, though, Team Heretics. I think this team looks really, really good. Fnatic is not the team that I would expect to beat them in this upper finals, and I don't think really anybody in EU can touch them. So with risking cursing them with 3 good ones, maybe you're going to go into them as well. I'm picking Heretics.
Okay, so we're actually split 50-50 when it comes to the lower matchup. I'm picking BBL as well. And yeah, the historical record says that Team Liquid gets the best of them, but I don't know. I feel like BBL is playing with a little bit of extra spark and energy right now. Like we said, they just played really close against Heretics, who is a world-class team. In my opinion, I think Heretics, and this will lead into my next answer, I think Heretics have a chance to win champs this year. I think this team is really that special. They got 2nd place last year in champs, and I think that the way they lost earlier this year at their own kickoff, they lost in the winners finals and then got 3-0'd by Liquid in the lower bracket finals. It's one of those things that happens sometimes in competitive gaming where like you've got all this momentum and then you feel like you have a chance to win the winners bracket, but then you lose and then it sucks all the energy out of you and then you just play way worse in the lower side of things. So I think they've got a chip on their shoulder right now, and Heretics are going to win this bracket, and they might even win the whole thing this year. So that's where I
can take a lot. And I want to say, I think BBL and Liquid, I think it's going to be a tremendous matchup. The player that I was looking at, Loon, he's their duelist. The last time when they matched up, he had like a 0.5 KD, and that's why Liquid was able to, take the win so much. And it actually was a 2-1. So I think if he can improve on his play, they could come out on top.
Well, exciting stuff in Valorant. Make sure you guys don't miss the action. I want to say it's May 16th that we will see the next stage of the bracket play out.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
So awesome Valorant action ahead of us. Looking forward to that. I'm sure on the Thursday episode, they're going to do some predictions for that as well. So make sure you guys watch the Thursday queued up. But we got plenty more to talk about in this episode. We're going to jump over to League of Legends. So we're in kind of a weird spot right now. Both the Americas and LEC still haven't reached playoffs just yet. We're like right on the cusp of reaching playoffs in both regions. So I wanted to kind of take this question a little different. Instead of talking about the current matchups, let's just have a discussion about who's the best team in the West. So that's including North and South Americas and Europe. Who do you got as the best team in the West? I'll start with you.
For me, it's Carmine Corp out of the LEC. They've looked the best. They've only dropped one map, I think, one game leading up to this whole thing, and they're the best, no question about it.
Davis.
For me, it's FlyQuest, which is kind of a weird pick, I feel like, for a lot of people in NA. I think a lot of people are shifting towards Cloud9. But for me, as a person that I don't know a ton about macro of League of Legends, so I base a lot of my knowledge on the statistics of it. And when I deep dove into it, I mean, FlyQuest, out of all regions, like you said, in the West, they're the best team. They average the most dragons. They average the least amount of towers given up. They take the most towers. They have the most kills average. They have the least deaths average. So everything that really matters in the game, in my opinion, they have the best of, so I have them number 1.
Okay. JDog, who you got?
For me, as much as I love North American League of Legends, I have to agree with Nick. It's Carmine Corp. It's a close race for me between KC and C9. C9 is my team, so this is difficult for me. I feel like the teams are very comparable, but I feel like Carmine Corp is a little bit more tried and tested on the international stage. I think these will be the 2 teams that make it out of both LTA North and the LEC. But I think once you're there at MSI, I think K-Corp has gotten their wings under them. They're going to be playing good, whereas Loki, Thanatos, these guys have tons of talent, but there's a little bit of that shakiness in big moments, and I'm kind of concerned with them. I think with some reps, they'll be there, but I don't think they'll have it right away. So my nod is to the French.
Okay. Well, I also have Carmine Corp as my pick for the best in the West. This team just looks incredible. I mean, the 2 young guns, the 2 prodigies, you've got Kalist and Vladdy. These guys are incredible. I mean, they're often winning games by themselves. But honestly, this whole team is just stacked from top to bottom. Like we said, they've already proved themselves on the international stage with a 2nd place finish at first stand this year already, besting the best in the Chinese region. So I think they've got a chance to do better than any Western team in a long time in the international events this year, MSI and Worlds. The East better watch out because this team looks very strong.
They also just got to play that big home event in Paris, the LEC road trip. So even more, stage experience with the big crowd cheering for them. That was no joke.
That crowd was insane. If you guys haven't seen the Carmine Corp Stadium, it was incredible. I mean, you're talking about How many people do you think are in that stadium? Like 30,000 maybe?
Way more than I can count.
More than we can count. It's like counting jelly beans in a jar. I'm not going to try to do it. But yeah, great discussion, guys. There's still a lot of action for all the regions in the West coming up. So we'll be talking more about that on the Thursday show as well. But let's jump over to Counter-Strike. So PGL Astana is well underway. So far, Spirit and Mongols, the only two undefeated teams in the tournament. But we've seen some, in my opinion, kind of interesting upsets and some teams like exiting early that I did not expect at all. So my question for the group is, which match or team has been like the biggest surprise for you so far at PGL?
To me, it's NIP, no question about it. Coming in with a VLR ranking of 46 into this tournament and beating VP, who was ranked 13 at the time, 2-1 was a huge win for them. And they played Spirit close in map number 1. Obviously, map number 2, I'm pretty sure, was a 13-4, but playing Spirit close was great. And then losing 2-1 against Aurora, another top 7 team. NIP has looked great, especially for them coming in with such a low ranking. They've been the surprise of this tournament so far for me.
Okay, Davis.
Yeah, for me, the surprise has been big, especially their first match against Aurora. Aurora is a team that I saw coming into this tournament as, really able to win this tournament, if not win over Spirit, come in second, a team that I looked to really perform well. And Big showed up in the first match. They actually dropped map 1 to them. Aurora was able to pick that up. And then the next 2 maps, Big just turned it on. They were led by Hype, their new Opper, who they actually elevated from their academy team a couple years ago. Didn't work out. They shipped him off. He's now back, and he's came back with vengeance. Yeah, they were able to take down Aurora in a big upset day 1. That's my upset of the week.
Mine ties in with that. It's Aurora. Losing to Big in that first round was a big surprise to me, and now they've kind of made a run up through those lower side of the group to finally get back to the point where they're playing a good team, facing off against Navi now. But I was expecting this team to perform really well in this tournament, and seeing them lose in the beginning like that gave me some big fears for their potential outcome. But they are on the big upswing. There is room for them to get a big win over Navi and still advance in a 3-1 position. So they got to step it up.
Okay, I agree with you. I think that Aurora is kind of like this sleeping giant. They could pop off at any time, but for some reason stumble. We know Zataris had some health issues, so who knows if that's like flaring back up or if they're having issues like that. But for me, my pick is actually Gamer Legion. Out of the tournament already, 0-3. They lost to Hotu, which is the 75th best team in the rankings. Gamer Legion's like a top 12 team, no question in my eyes. So for them to lose to Hotu was kind of insane. But also, I do have to give credit to Hotu. This is a new roster that I was not familiar with. But when I watched them play, they were popping off. So I think that team might actually have a chance to pull a complexity and start out 0-2 and maybe make a run and actually make it to playoffs. So we'll have to keep an eye on them as the tournament progresses. That's going to be happening all week long. So that's going to conclude our discussion of PGL Astana. We're actually going to jump over to Call of Duty now, which in my eyes might be one of the most exciting times for Call of Duty because of one specific player, and his name's Mercules. This kid dropped, I want to say, an over 3.0 KD in one of the games that they played in the past couple of days, had the highest KD of the entire qualifier stage at 1.4. I mean, this guy just started playing in the league. He got to sub in for Toronto Ultra, finishes 3rd place on LAN, immediately gets sniped by Optic to replace Skies, and just hits the ground running. This guy is insane. So my question to you, Nick, is he the real deal? Do we think he's like, is this just the beginning of a superstar being born in the scene?
I think it really is. He's still really young. He's got a lot of work to do with the teamwork side of things. He's got the gunny. It's just, can he back up the teamwork and play with his team well? We're going to look at it in a little bit when we get to Thod review, but he does look like the real deal right now.
Davis.
Yeah, I think he looks like the real deal too. And for me, the biggest thing is kind of like you said, the pressure situations that he's been put in. You know, his first match in the league, showing up on LAN with Toronto Ultra, a team that was on a tremendous form, jumping in with them, gets picked up by Optic now, performs immediately. The way he's able to just jump into these rosters and just perform really the best out of anyone in these matches. I mean, he's out-fragging everybody. It's tremendous for a new player, and congrats to him.
Yeah, I don't want to be the bearer of a negative review. My concern with Mercules, he has looked awesome. It's just that maybe it's a honeymoon phase. Is he Icarus? Is he flying too close to the sun? I mean, this performance that he's put up in this opening week is an amazing one. One that will be extremely hard to continue and to carry over week after week after week. And you know that the Optic fans are going to expect that after you've handed it to him on a plate in the beginning. So I don't know if he's got the legs for that. I would love to see it, though.
I think he is the real deal. I think that this guy, not only is he performing the best on Optic, but I think he's making the rest of Optic play better as well. I think that, I mean, you go back after they win that series, you look at social media, all of his teammates, Mercules is crazy. Mason was popping off. They're just all just so excited to have this kid on their team, and for good reason. And Dashy admittedly said, if I played as bad as I did today 3 months ago, like, we're not qualifying for champs. They're not even in the conversation. So Dashy recognizing that next to Mercules, he needs to play better himself to kind of keep up with this new young gun. I think that says a lot for Mercules as a player, and he's got charisma too. You should watch some of the behind the scenes interviews. They did a little video where they went to like get ice cream with Maniac and Hitch a Ride. And that was such a funny just experience to see behind the scenes and what he's like outside of the game. I think he's got a lot of confidence, and that's something that you need as a new player in a league like this that's so cutthroat, but he's got it in spades. So I'm excited to see what he does.
I want to bounce off that, what you just said, because I've been seeing a lot of clips of him too. That's what I've noticed too, is just his confidence and the way he carries himself. He knows he's good and he knows he can do it. And stepping into these situations, he's just proving it. So that's why I really think that he's got what it takes to become a substantial player in this league.
Okay. Well, Optic better hold on to him tight, because if he continues to pop off like this, I think some other teams might be looking to snipe him as well.
One more thing I was going to say, this is what I was going to say, and then I kind of lost train of thought. There was a clip of him in their game against Breach on Rewind where he was inside the building, and he literally says in comms, "Hey guys, watch this." Slides out, absolutely tremendously kills a guy, and then comes back in, and it's just like he's just freestyling out here. He's got 3 world champs on his team, and he's telling them, "Hey, you guys watch this. I'm a rookie."
Yeah.
Hold my non-alcoholic beer.
Yeah, he's like, what, 19 or something?
Yeah, that dude's a beast.
He's incredible. So we can't wait to see more of Mercules as he grows and shines in the league. I think that you're just being a contrarian when you say he's not the real deal. All good, though. We know how JDog is. But
another omit player, though, coming up to the league.
Yep.
Another example of omit, just finding talent and knowing what to do with it. So, well, that's going to wrap it up for Around the League. We're going to jump into our next segment, which is VOD Review. We're going to take a look at some of the coolest plays from around the different games that we cover, and we're going to break them down. So we're going to start with Davis. He's going to break down a Valorant clip for us. What you got for us?
Yeah, so for Valorant, today we're looking at Team Heretics.
Say
a team
undetected,
that'll
but there's a
be
player
in
put to
Masters for
place
sure,
on this.
number 1
Done
team
for.
qualified from
Magnum.
We're watching a
Back
retake
down.
here from
Minigoose
them
so
on
swift with
Ascent,
it.
and I just want to
Now
point
they've
out
got
how
problems,
good
right?
they
Nowhere
played
feels
together.
safe, so
Right here
VDL
you
maybe
see
looking for some
VDL knows
security.
they have
A quick
fight
dash to
this.
split.
Jet dashes across,
The
open
ideas of
flash,
where they
and
want to
there's
push
so
from and
much
hold from
util
the Benji
going on.
there.
VDL
Gonna find the
can't
FP.
deal
There
with
is
it.
not
They're
much
forced
going
back
right for
out.
BBL
Now
in this
they're
one.
all
It is
trapped backside
strangling
here.
hold.
And if the clip goes on, you see another distraction play happens, and they're able to swing and just completely eliminate everybody. And the way they play as a team is just tremendous. We're going to actually take another look here at one more play. They're going to be on defense here if we can get production to roll it. And I'll kind of show you something I like from the defensive side here as well. So right here, they're playing for their lives. They've already got a life advantage.
Heretics, step
They
by
were
step.
able to
Oh
get
my
a big
god,
hit.
you saw it then like
They're
a
just
trap
playing behind
sprung.
the
It was
smoke screen. They're perfectly
instantaneous.
fine with giving them the space,
With a man's
letting them
advantage
take
over. A lot of their
everything.
body
They
still
do
here,
mess up a
BBL.
little
Oh,
bit
that's
here,
nice,
drop
Levin.
two.
The aim
But
is
the
on
thing is,
point
they're on
here.
offense. They
Levin's
get the
gone
bomb
down, but he still
and
has
they
at least a
get
bit of
out the way.
side
They're
control.
not peeking,
2
not
tucked
giving,
towards yellow.
gunfights
One
for no
off towards
reason.
that B long
And they
post
really
plant.
play very disciplined. I
3v3.
think that's the biggest thing that set them
All
apart
from
in
side
this
side
match
though.
against BBL.
Boots got
They're
ult. Does he get a chance to
They do
use
let
it?
him walk up
Sprays
here,
a
but
praise.
Fish is gonna
Benji,
ultimately
the
come
savior
out
of
with a very
Heretics,
close
not again.
performance.
Surely
But just their teamwork and just the way that they play the game objectively, it's going to get them a long way.
I love watching this team, man. It looks like they have a game plan for every single map and scenario. They've just, like I said earlier, I saw what happened to them in the kickoff, and I really think that got to them. They didn't even get to play in Bangkok to prove that they can hang on the international stage because they finished in 3rd after a really disappointing finish. And now I feel like they went back to do their own VOD review, and they've come up with a lot of strats that these teams are not ready to deal with. So I'm excited to see what they do.
just to bounce off that, like you said, last year, second at a Masters, second at Champions, gets knocked out of this most recent Masters. I think they're really hungry come to this Masters in Toronto.
Yeah, and looking good in a field of very competitive EMEA Valorant teams. Like all these teams look really solid, very competitive, tons of 2-1s across the board. So they do look really good.
All right. Well, we're going to jump into the next VOD review. It's going to be mine for Counter-Strike. It's probably the best player at Astana right now, in my opinion. Of course, it's going to be Donk. And look at this. He's just holding a corner. And I got to say, what is this strategy from Astralis? They're just walking one by one. Headshot, boom, headshot, boom, headshot. His hands are shaking, and he's still hitting headshots. Shout out to FPS Doug. But, I mean, come on, Astralis. You're literally not a single flashbang, not a smoke. Everyone's just ego-challenging the best player in the world by rating one by one by one. I mean, they made it a little bit too easy for my guy, but Donk is incredible.
That looked like my ranked game right there. That literally looked like my ranked game.
That looked like the IGO was still calming their strat to them as they walked around that corner. And it didn't even get to know.
Yeah, he's like,
it was
when
rough.
we get around this corner, this start, oh, we're all dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he dropped like a 2.1 in that series. So yeah, just more clips like that. And against a team like Astralis, it's like they're no slouch in any way.
Previous giant.
Yeah.
They're very well equipped to understand how to play situations like that. Like, they have so much experience. It's kind of befuddling to watch it, to be honest. It's like, maybe it explains some of their downfall because they have not been playing as good as they had in prior years.
I think it's just the Donk effect, man. Like, just when he is on and just destroying people, he makes them look like beginners. Like, makes the best players in the world look like 14,000 ranked, or, you know, whatever they do.
Why'd you look at David?
Yeah. Was I close? No. Okay, never mind.
I think you gave him too much credit.
Okay.
There's a lot of
I'm at
Counter-Strike
17.
players.
Yeah.
I'm at 17.
Okay.
17,000? Okay, that's actually not bad.
Yeah.
There's like 6 million players or something crazy. So, okay. Nick, what you got for us?
Call of Duty. We had the Boston Breach playing Optic Texas on Friday, and probably one of the most anticipated matchups of this entire week. Coming into it, Boston Breach won the first 2 maps, and then Optic had to take the next 2. But going into this final round of Search and Destroy here, Breach up 5-4. Optic quick hit B. Unfortunately, as you see there, Dashy falling late because Mercules got out of dodge. Not sure if they were on the same page there or not, but he goes over here in a 1v3. You're like, if anybody can do it, the young kid can. Running on over here, checks upper just to make sure there's nobody coming on the quick. Rotates all the way back through.
Maybe.
This is such like a stressful moment. If you're the 1v3 situation, like, you want to somehow find them one by one, right?
Yep, yeah, you're trying to pick them off in any way, shape, or form. You're trying to find some isolated fights, and he finds one there, and you're like, wait a minute, maybe there's a chance. Still doesn't have bomb, needs bomb down on the other side of the map there. He does get one, is in the 1v1 to finish up the whole thing, unfortunately falls, and Boston Breach wins the whole thing. But my biggest thing about that entire clip was, with the fast hit B, you're surprised when Dashy's still going forward to engage because they have a number advantage there. It would have been a 2-on-1. The other player was still on the A site. Merc's like scared for his life, and he hightails it out of there, and Dashy's like, yo, where'd you go, dog? And that's why I think, kind of to the earlier question, I don't think, and again, first week with the team, I get it, but a lot of the criticism for him has been, and especially with CJ last week, was he plays a little bit baity. He may play for the stats a little bit more than he plays for the team play. So if he could get some of that knowledge up just a little bit more, I think he's going to be great. And hopefully time with this Optic roster will mold him into that player.
Yeah, I see that play a little bit differently, though. I feel like Merc's teammates should not have scammed. Like, why is he the last guy alive? It shouldn't even be a 1v3. Like, if I couldn't see everyone's POV, obviously, and you never can with these situations, but it's like somehow Hook and Shotzi die basically at the same time.
They both got, or Shotzi got one, Shotzi got traded out, Hook didn't get the other kill, but then Dashy was going in there to clean up the kill that Hook didn't get.
And he got left by Mercules.
And then he got left, and then they would have had a clear numbers advantage on B with bomb down, and Merc just said, see you later, which is unfortunate because a lot of people are going to be like, well, Dashy should have known to just wait for a play call instead of continuously hitting, but he didn't.
Call of Duty is such a fast-paced game. You have to just make split-second decisions, and sometimes, yeah, like you said, new player on the team, maybe they're not on the same page and how to play those spots.
And to me, that was a prime example of Merc was just putting a little scared there.
The biggest thing is you got to commit. If that is
Yeah.
the play, if we're all rushing B,
Yeah.
we're all rushing B.
Yeah, no, that was in the start of that clip was in the first 5 seconds of that round, and the call was go B and go B fast, and that's why 3 of them died quick, and then Merc's like, he's hightailing it through garage to wrap the map, and you're like, wait a minute, what just...
I do think that was a very strange play.
Yeah.
That's very strange.
So,
I think they learned from it though, because in their next series they went absolutely insane. So learning moments for the young gun. But that's going to do it for the Call of Duty one. Let's go into Justin's. What you got for us?
Yeah, so I have the very end of game 1 here from the LEC road trip. We're watching K-Corp here. Kalist starts it off with a big kill. Vladdy TPing in here. He's 7-0 and 9 on the Silas. Goes in, hits a blind E2 on the Kaisa. Steals the Nico ult, flashes back in. Completely destroys Team Vitality here. We've got the audio muted so you can't hear just how crazy the crowd is going. Satek TP's in here. 2 people left. If they die here, the game is completely over to these Baron minions. And yeah, they just get absolutely blown off the map. This is what incredibly fed Silas can do to people. I know when we showed this clip around the office, there was a bunch of people talking about maybe playing Silas in their games. Just know you only look like that when you're 10-0, 24 stacks on the Dark Seal. It's not always that pretty, but when Vladdy's doing it, he's looking really good.
I mean, clips like that exemplify why I say Heretics, or not Heretics, K-Corp can compete at the biggest stage because, man, the mechanics on that kid to do that whole play, he literally is sniping a player that's invisible, the invisible Kaisa, to pull himself in, perfectly steals the Nico with multiple targets there, flashes forward, hits the triple knockup, like, that was a picture-perfect play. That was beautiful to watch.
One of those plays that it's so good that it makes the 2 remaining players, like, they could have gone back to their base and healed up and defended at the Nexus towers, but you're like, if Vladdy's doing this, let's just fight him out here, let him kill us, and we'll go game 2. They end up winning game 2 and have a really tight game 3, so things do get better for Vitality, but that one was just a complete stomp.
Yeah. That was a tremendous play. That was an absolutely tremendous play.
Hard to really analyze and critique that something that's just like a pure highlight like that, but it was just awesome. And hearing it with the crowd, couldn't pass it up.
Yeah. The invisible E was freaking sick. Dude. See that Kaisa dip left invisible and he just freaking ran.
We need like pro view to be able to see it from his view to really appreciate how random that was.
Yeah, because in Spectator, you can't tell that the Kaisa went invisible there, but he's literally perfectly guessing where she's going to go as soon as she E's, which you got to really be in your opponent's head to make plays like that. I love those plays where people like predict where their opponent's going to flash and they like put the ability there instead. Those are some of my favorite
Next
plays.
level.
Yeah, that's like, I will never do that. That's why I'm stuck in gold. So it is what it is. But wow, this was a fantastic episode, guys. Esports is only getting more and more exciting as time goes on. There's always going to be more stuff to talk about. On Thursday, we've got our next episode, which we'll look forward to the matches occurring next weekend. We've already highlighted there's going to be some EMEA Valorant, of course, some more Call of Duty action, and plenty else on the horizon. So make sure you guys don't miss that. This has been your episode of Queued Up from me and the boys. We're going to get into our lobby and win our next ranked match. But you guys, good luck in your games. We'll see you in the next episode.